know, I was saying this yesterday. We have some blips that we're watching.
Kate, that's a great way to put it. Yeah, we do have some blips on the radar screen, so to speak, and on the satellite screen. Let's have a look at these blips right here. There's areas that we've circled out here on the tropical update graphic here. We've got a whole bunch of circles in the Pacific, and one of those is Norbert, but none of those really are going to significantly impact land, if at all. So let's turn our attention quickly to the Atlantic. We've got a couple of invests, meaning the National Hurricane Center is investigating them for possible development. One of them is 90L right here, and the other one's 91L. That is trailing it by about a day and a half or two. Let's look right now at 90L. It's a collection of clouds and showers and some thunderstorms, but it's not in a very good environment. And looking at the satellite pictures, you can sort of see it's not very well organized. We don't see a lot of bright reds lasting for very long. Obviously, the much more impressive circulation is right out here. This is Invest 91L, and that has a much better chance of future prospects. Let's have a look now at the 90L. In the visible satellite pictures, I'm seeing a lot of a milky appearance out here. So, in other words, cirrus clouds without the thunderstorms attached to them anymore, because those have since collapsed, and a lot of dry air has been working its way into the circulation here. I think there is a broad area of low pressure, no doubt about that. If it's not at the surface, it's certainly at a couple thousand feet above the ground. But this one doesn't look like it's going to survive too much longer, and I think most of the models agree, and in fact the Hurricane Center really only gives this thing a 10% chance of making it out of there alive in the next 5 days or so. But look at the one behind it, 91L, and I put the 5,000-foot wind flow on there to show you how big of a circulation this thing is. My goodness, that is a very large counterclockwise swirly out there with quite a few thunderstorms. So this one, I think we'll be reckoning with, over the next couple of days, at least talking about it, because it's got a much higher shot at surviving the hostile environment around it, in part because it's so big. And with a lot of that in mind, the Hurricane Center has gone ahead and give this thing a 60% chance of developing into a depression or a named storm over the next 5 days as it moves generally off toward the west-northwest. So let's have a look at the environment that these guys have to work with. I mean, if you put the water vapor imagery on here, it's pretty clear. I mean, there's a lot of reds and oranges, exceptionally dry air, about 5,000 to 15,000 feet up in a layer like that, maybe up to 20,000 feet. And that does a couple of things. One, it dries out the thunderstorms. And two, what it does is it warms the atmosphere below it, so you get a very warm layer of air that tends to suppress thunderstorm activity in it. That's why we don't see any thunderstorms here. So these guys moving toward the west are going to have to contend with that. And here's what one of the models, the Euro, thinks it's going to happen to 91L right here. It moves it toward the west as a low-pressure area over the Atlantic. Some of the models are more aggressive, and I'll talk more about that coming up in a little bit. Back to you.